questions that I need to know. How you could ever hurt me so.
I'm sorry.
I need to know what I've done wrong.
Nothing.
And how long it's been going on.
About 6 months.
Was it that I never paid enough attention?
That's exactly it.
Or did I not give enough affection?
No, you didn't.
Not only will your answers keep me sane, but
Good.
I'll know never to make the same mistake again.
Excellent.
You can tell me to my face.
All right.
Or even on the phone.
What's your number?
You can write it in a letter.
Dear All Saints.
Either way, I have to know.
Hi everyone, all right. I could keep this going for the next 5 minutes, but I actually want some viewers. All right, how are you all doing? Today we are looking at Now That's Local Music 39, which is one shy of the big 4-0. And in terms of years, we've now made it to 1998. So we've only got 2 more years of the 20th century. Amazingly, we've still not really got to the halfway point. I was trying to do the maths. I reckon a halfway point would be somewhere around about 2001. So we're still not even halfway through this journey. We've got another 3 more years, which will make about another 9 volumes before we get there. Anyway, last time, Now 38, was a bit of a disappointment. It wasn't too bad, actually. I kind of hyped it up as being a disappointment and then was pleasantly surprised. What's it they say? Under-promise, over-deliver. This time, there's much more promise. Looking through the track listings, and I immediately see lots of classics, lots of songs with stuff to talk about. So without further ado then, let's crack straight on. We kick things off with All Saints and Never Ever. Really found their niche now. And this song's a real classic. Certainly one of the best girl band songs of all time. One of the biggest singles of 97. Very surprised it's only had almost 2 million, not even 2 million views. Although this is the UK version, and a lot of people saying, let's pretend the US version doesn't exist. Never heard the US version. Maybe I'll check it out. This is the one that was a big hit in England. Still sounds good to my ears. Now we follow this one with the Lighthouse family. I've never talked about them, and I never will. If you want to see a real kind of dissection and analysis and appreciation of the music of the Lighthouse family, please just go to another YouTube channel. You're not going to ever get it here. Well, you know, open-minded. If they did something that blew my mind, I would say that. Not prejudiced. Now, Janet Jackson, she's been up and down like a yo-yo with the quality of her tracks. Some of them have been awful, some have been really good, and some have been meh. Together Again's another good one. It's fairly kind of slight. I always find her stuff, her voice in particular, so slight. But the music's alright. It's quite clubby, quite housey. It's got nice chord progression, good melody. So that's alright. Spice Girls are back with Stop, another pretty good song for them. Actually, I've not been too rude about them, have I? Again, if the music's there, it'll win me round. Stop's a reasonably good Motown-style song. I don't know what it is about that word stop that lends itself to Motown. I guess it all comes from Stop in the Name of Love. I'm also thinking of that Captain and Tennille one, You Better Stop. So, Love Will Keep Us Together. Yeah, basically, Spice Girls, they're still doing really well, I think, commercially at this time. Now, another one I'm going to play now, and this is... I was trying to think of a character name in Neighbours, not EastEnders. It's Natalie Imbruglia and Torn. Was it Beth? Was that her name? No, that's not her. It's someone playing a violin. Yeah, Natalie Imbruglia and Torn. She was in Neighbours. Was she Lou Carpenter's daughter, or am I getting confused? Who watched Neighbours about 20 years ago? I always liked her in Neighbours, and it was not really a surprise when she went to music. Trying to think in terms of Now That's Like a Music. Former Neighbours people. We've had Kylie. We've had Jason, just once, I think, with Any Dream Will Do. I don't think we had Craig McLachlan, and I'm not sorry. On an aside, please, if you want to see something, well, it's so bad it will make you cringe, but watch Craig McLachlan doing stand-up on the Footy Show in Australia. Oh, my God. Oh, dear. It's literally the most arse-clenchingly embarrassing performance. Craig McLachlan doing an attempt at stand-up comedy, literally booed off stage. I don't think Natalie Imbruglia was ever booed off stage. But yeah, another former Neighbours actress. And the music, yeah, it was a big song. I bet it's had trillions of views. 190 million. It's pretty middle of the road. I guess it's more pop, Alanis Morissette. And it's also notable for being one of those 4-chord songs. Have you heard of that, the 4-chord song? What are they called? The Axis of something. Axis of Awesome. Yeah, check out the 4-chord song. And it features this. And it should also feature the next one because it's got the same chord progression. I don't know if that's a little muso joke by the Now people or just the fact that lots of big songs had it. Billy Myers, Kiss the Rain. Got exactly the same chords in the chorus. Pretty popular, actually. I didn't really remember it. And it's not really me. It's another one that I will give credit to for its influence more than personal taste. But I was looking through the comments, and it obviously still really popular and really meaningful to a lot of people. Because it says things like, who's still listening to this in 2020? Congratulations, Great Britain, another great pop singer. That was from March the 26th, like 4 days ago. So there's still people out there wanting to listen to it. Yeah, interesting. From the very first chord of this song, I am immediately transported right back to 97. So yeah, it's amazing, that one. Billy Myers, Kiss the Rain. Okay, now one that I think is a real classic now. I've kind of glossed over all his stuff up to this point because I wanted to save myself. I think you'll notice if you watch enough of these videos that when you get an artist who does a lot of songs, I normally talk a lot about them once and once only, and then I kind of skip over them. And the time I normally talk most about them is at the time of their biggest hit. So if their biggest hit's kind of the first thing they've ever done, it's normally the first. I'll talk about them loads then and then never mention them again. In the case of Robbie Williams, he must have been a good part of about 10, 20 songs as part of Take That and Solo. I've had nothing to say about any of them. Finally, this is where Robbie actually proves himself for something a bit special. Yet again, it's not something... Robbie Williams isn't an artist I really listen to at home. But in a sense, like this whole series isn't about what I listen to at home. It's about pop culture. And this song's had 137 million views. It's Angels. It's a big ballad. It was always one of those ones you'd play at the disco at the end of the night when you're doing all the slow dances. And it's Robbie just stopping being kind of a poser, I suppose, and actually just having a bit of soul. For all COVID-19 victims, we'll have a better world from Italy. Yeah, that's quite touching. Keep your head up, everyone. We will survive through these dark times. Doctor, you have 3 minutes to live. Me, play Angels. Doctor, but it's 4 minutes. God, it's okay. That's a really touching message. And 605 people like that. Deep. This song really has got something to it. You know, it's easy to be biased against Robbie Williams because he was in Take That. But I'm all about being open-minded and recognising a great song when you hear it. This is a great song, and if Elton or someone had done it, people would say it was a classic. So nice one, Robbie. Good stuff. Okay, talking of classic songs now, albeit strange versions of them. Perfect Day, 97. This was a real cross-the-board agglomeration. We've had a few of them on now. It's not that many. All sorts of megastars and stuff. It's another Children in Need one. Yeah, good charity. Obviously, I've talked about the BBC and my ambivalence to some of its attitudes. But you can't deny that Children in Need is a good charity. Yeah, Perfect Day is one of my favourite songs. It's a brilliant song by Lou Reed. Brilliant version on the Trainspotting soundtrack, the original. This one has Duran Duran. Oh no, sorry, that was a different version. I didn't know they did it. Was that on their really bad version? Yeah, okay, performers. Lou Reed, Bono. I'm just going to say the big names. David Bowie, Suzanne Vega, Elton, Boyzone, Leslie Garrett, Burning Spear, big name in reggae. Tammy Wynette, wow. Emmylou Harris, Heather Small, Shane McGowan, Dr. John, David Bowie, Ian Broody, Lightning Seeds, Gabrielle. Wow. So some really big names on that then. That was Perfect Day, 97. That's followed by Boyzone again, Baby Can I Hold You. As always, I'm prepared to hold forth on the wonders of Boyzone. If they give me music, that allows me to do that. Not just yet. Okay, here's where the story ends. Tintin Out featuring Shelley Nelson. Yeah, that was quite good. Do you remember a group called The Sundays? It was originally by them. Very different from Tintin Out's Always Look on the... not Always Look on the Bright Side. Always Something Else to Remind Me, which was quite Eurodance. The Sundays is a lot more indie, and as a result, the version of Here's Where the Story Ends, it's not really even dance, to be honest. It's more light indie. Okay, strange one now. A good collab, and I've played Stunned by Space, and we're shortly going to come on to Catatonia. But in the meanwhile, just before we do, here's a bit of an aperitif. It's Space and Cerys Matthews and the Ballad of Tom Jones. I've talked about Space's brilliant lyrics before. They really are very droll and very witty with their lyrics. This and Catatonia are the same, to be honest. Quite a kind of whimsical, wordy band. This song's hilarious. It's really, really weird. It's kind of like a lot of Space stuff. It's sort of pseudo-lounge. It's kind of ironically kitsch. It really is about Tom Jones, the singer. And I'm sure that's a kind of Welsh thing going on with Cerys. Basically, it's about a couple who've been trying to strangle and murder each other for years and years. And then they hear Tom Jones on the radio and it kind of brings them together. You have to listen to the lyrics and the delivery. It's not just the lyrics, it's how they really get into character. It's like musical acting. And it's got all sorts of pheromones and weird sort of sound effects on it. Great chorus. Yeah, very, very quirky song. Up there with the best things Space ever did. Up there with the best things Catatonia, well, Cerys ever did. So, big fan of this song. Thank you, Tom Jones, for bringing them together and stopping them killing each other. Right. Follow-up tracks now from Texas and Hanson. I've talked about them before. Nothing to say about these tracks. Insane and weird. Apart from that sounds like me. Yeah, insane and weird. Right, okay. Now, a personal shout-out to my dad. How Do I Live? Leanne Rimes. My dad, for some reason, is a massive Leanne Rimes fan. And he really likes her. So, How Do I Live? Yep, that one goes out to my dad. It's the kind of thing I'd listen to with him. Another kind of pop country one now. Another great song. I've always had a soft spot for Shania Twain. And You're Still the One is a really, really nice song. I seem to remember on stage she rides on a horse and sings it. Not that I've seen her live. It's quite weird. Yeah, very odd. It's nice. It's, you know, it's kind of middle of the road country stuff, but it's a great song and it's a lovely romantic song. One I wouldn't mind playing at my wedding. Not that I'm engaged or anything, but you know, who's going to DJ at my wedding? I know so many DJs. There'll probably be more DJs than guests. Right, tomorrow never dies. It's Bond time again, and I think sonically this will follow quite well from here. This has got a kind of Bondy, dramatic thing going on, and I've not really played a Sheryl Crow song yet. So let's play Tomorrow Never Dies. Very, very typically Bondy. Is that a word? Bondesque. And yeah, Sheryl Crow's a great choice for Bond front person. As for the movie, it's another Pierce Brosnan one. Was it the last Pierce Brosnan one? When was the one with Garbage? The World Is Not Enough. I think that was after this, actually. Yeah, this would have been 97. Because The World Is Not Enough. Which was the one that had the Millennium Dome sequence on it? I always get them mixed up, especially kind of late 80s, early 90s ones. But lovely song. No surprises. Radiohead are back with a good song. No surprises there. I've talked about them enough. The Verve, Lucky Man, I've talked about them as well. Both very good songs. Lucky Man in particular is one of the Verve's best. And Pulp are back with This Is Hardcore. Yet again, it's not quite up to things like Common People, but it's still a good song. It's nice to have Jarvis back. Now, I normally only play one by an artist at any given time, so I'm not going to play Robbie Williams, Let Me Entertain You, because I've already had Angels. But again, it's a really, really good song. It's Robbie at his best. I really like this kind of thing with Robbie, where he's really just doing kind of joke. I wouldn't say joke songs, but jokey, very kind of wry. Is laconic the right word? Let me just check that. I want to get the right word. Laconic. Of a person or style. Using very few words. No, that's not the right word then. It's not laconic. Sardonic? Is that the right word? But you know what I mean with the Robbie style. Very kind of wry. Yeah, that's it. Grimly mocking or cynical. I think that describes Robbie Williams. It's kind of, he knows he's been in a boy band, he knows what people think of him, and he turns out to his strength. I talked a bit about Cotton Eye Joe, and I'll be talking about it very shortly of another Novelty song, and it's a psychological thing called compensation. If you know that you're weak in certain areas, then you compensate in other areas, and it's those other areas that actually can really be amazing and brilliant. And I think Robbie Williams is a real example for that. He knows his shortcomings, and he compensates for it with the things he's good at. Yeah, good English pop star. And Let Me Entertain You is musically really interesting. Okay, Mulder and Scully, Catatonia. I would have played it, but I just played Cerys and Space. So it's a great song. It's a really, really good opening song. Very good post-Britpop indie. Taff pop, we could call it, maybe, from the Valleys. And yeah, it's a kind of pop culture reference to the X-Files, of course. The fact that they can just say this could be a case of Mulder and Scully and everyone knows who they mean is props to the X-Files, which was absolutely dominant through the late 90s. David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, of course. So, a cracking song. And this has been a really strong album, thank goodness, of the Now 38. When I say that a particular Now's duff, I don't mean that the music of that era's duff, I just mean the selection on a Now. And I know well enough through doing these now that if they get to do a duff one, you can guarantee it will bounce back within 1 or 2 volumes. It's just a case of going through them one by one, really. And I am interested to see if they eventually go really, really shit consistently. But they've not done it yet in 38 volumes. 39. They've bounced back. Okay, now talking of good songs, here's another one that's really, 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 really timeless song, I think. You'll recognise it, yeah, you recognise it. If you don't recognise that, then I don't know where you've been over the last 20 years. It's notable for many reasons. Firstly, it's another good Asian band, and I've been calling out for more Asian music on these Nows, because it's a really vital part of musical history, really. And the thing about this song is this is another song about songs. It's about someone called Asha Bosley. I must admit, I'm not that familiar with her stuff. Maybe I should be. This song's telling me to go and listen to her. And that's what a brimful of Asha means. Basically, just loads of Asha Bosley. I'm just looking at a picture of her. She looks like a lovely lady. I don't mean to be disrespectful. What's the name of that red dot thing on the forehead? She's got one of them. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. Yeah, Corner Shop. And the name Corner Shop, I suppose, is a sardonic, kind of self-deprecating thing because they're Asian and stuff. It's the Norman Cook remix that really made it what it is. Melodically, he's kept it the same. He's just sped it up and added a Norman Cook and a breakbeat. As a result, it's become a kind of big beat classic. Corner Shop been going on quite a while. They've never had anything as big as this. So it's another Culture Clash fusion song. Big beat with a bit of Asian stuff in there. Brilliant song. Norman Cook will be back shortly, and I would have put it on straight after. We've got another classic in between. The one that's in 2 songs' time is the Norman Cook remix of Renegade Master by Wild Child, which would have followed this like a dream, but hey, I didn't put this together. Now, in between, you've got another kind of remix. Well, it is a remix. It's a straight-up remix. Very notable remix. Way bigger than the original song. It is Jason Nevins and Run DMC. Mainly Run DMC, to be honest. 42 million views. A very striking video in that parking lot. And, yeah, he's not done a great deal to it. He's basically stuck a big 4 on the floor on it. I heard through a rumour they didn't really like it, but when they heard how well it was doing, they were like, okay, money talks, I guess. It's like that, because that's the way it is. Yeah, it was an original kind of old electro, very, very, very early electro hip-hop song with socially conscious lyrics, and he's basically just kind of beefed it up a bit. Yep, pretty good. Okay, I said Norman Cook remix of Renegade Master. That's next, followed by Bamboogie and Bamboo. Okay, it's basically Casey and the Sunshine Band, Get Down Tonight, with the beats from the Bucketheads, the Bomb, and some organs. So it's pretty derivative. It's pretty Time Lords, how to have a #1 manual kind of thing. But it's funky. I like the original. It's not ruined it. It's a good club song. Pretty DJ friendly. So that's okay. Another good club one now. Found a Cure. Really. An Ultranate. Man, if you found a cure for COVID, you'll be laughing. Yeah, even better maybe than Free. Another good quality club song. Deep house, I guess. Got guitars and stuff. Not so good, just Sash La Primavera. That's really scraping a barrel now. Yet again, it's fourth single in this case, I think. Syndrome. Once they go shit, these acts, they're like a kind of carton of milk Euro acts. As long as they're fresh, they're nice. But the minute they curdle, that's it. They go off and it just starts to stink. In particular, La Primavera has some of the worst culprits for MIDI brass. You know I hate MIDI brass. I don't want MIDI brass on a trance song. I mean, what are you doing? So, yeah, maybe after Encore une fois, it's Merde alors. Okay. Merde alors. How can I best describe this next one then? There's a part of me that's going to play it, and hell, I am going to play it. If it makes you switch off, it makes you switch off. I talked a bit before about compensation, and I talked about Robbie Williams compensating maybe for the fact that, you know, what he lacks in some areas, he makes up for in others. And I've also talked about how some novelty tunes, that when they know they're really bad, they compensate. They put a couple of Easter egg jokes in, a bit of kind of knowing humour, just to kind of reach out to people who sort of are looking for something a bit deeper. I maintain this song has that. It's had 720 million views. You could take this at face value if you want. And at that level, it's literally about a toy doll singing about her toy doll boyfriend. Yeah. I'm bopping along. Guilty pleasure time. Aqua, Barbie Girl. There's more to this than meets the eye. I'm absolutely convinced. And if you see it on that level, that meta level, there's a lot more to it. What? Maybe it's a satire on sort of gross materialism. I don't know, really. It could just be a joke and I'm reading too much into it. And, you know, sometimes novelty songs literally are just novelty songs. I'm thinking of Everybody Gone Free Gone, which is literally less than the sum of its parts. I don't know. I just get the feeling with this that the whole thing is very, very tongue-in-cheek. And there's, you know, I think it's kind of taking a piss. And it's funny. So, yeah, a weird one there. Let me know what you think, though. I am interested. 5, 6, 7, 8. See, I think that one, that lacks the knowing humour. Steps hadn't really become steps that I guess we'd sort of bring into our hearts. They're still at the kind of shitty novelty stage from 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll give them a couple more songs. Yeah, if you listen to Barbie Girl and then you compare it to 5, 6, 7, 8, I think Barbie Girl's got that kind of ironic thing that I'm talking about, and I think 5, 6, 7, 8 doesn't. So I think that's a really good juxtaposition of the two, to show the difference between a novelty song with a kind of slightly knowing, sarcastic edge and a novelty song that really is just a novelty song. Let me know what you think. Let's Go Round Again was an old Average White Band song, I think, by Louise. It's taken a cover for her to do something vaguely alright. Amnesia, Chumbawamba. Slightly forgotten, pun intended. If we're talking about Amnesia, I think most people have had amnesia about that song. It's nowhere near as famous as Tub Thumping. It's not bad. It's kind of punky dance, but it's, forgotten. Okay, one that I really like now, but I bet no one's heard of it. Commisera, Let Me Show You. Really more club than pop, to be honest. The version I've got is about 8 minutes long. I'm sure it's just trimmed down to about 3 minutes for now. It's a real pumping tune, actually. One of the classics. Maybe still a bit hard baggy, getting into more hard house. Good song. Okay, Planet Love by Quicksilver, third single, Syndrome. Already done Quicksilver twice. That's all you're going to get from me on that. Treat Infamy, Rest Assured, which is basically the Verve stuck through the rave mangle. Had to happen. They're not waiting very long before they do it now. In the past, they'd wait a few years before they raved up old songs, but with this, they're doing it like within months of it even coming out. It's a bit of a cash-in, really, and I don't think the drugs don't work really suits this sort of format. Or maybe it's just the music's not great. So Treat Infamy, Rest Assured. Now, here's a real culture clash song, which, as you know, I really like. I say as you know, if you've watched my videos, if you've never seen it before, you wouldn't know. Basically, a culture clash song is where two genres, two cultures, two things shouldn't go together and normally don't go together, and in the wrong hands really wouldn't go together, but in the right hands they do go together well. And, you know, sometimes these things really go horribly wrong. I was thinking of the Pet Shop Boys trying to do Where the Streets Have No Name and Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. It's horrible. So it's a real juggling act, getting a culture clash record right. It takes real skill. It's what I call a synthesis. You've got to synthesize. You've got to make a synthesis out of the thesis and antithesis, something in its opposite, and you've got to find a common ground. Now, an example of one that works really, really well, a textbook example, I think, and it's really surprising. It's Warren G and Sissel, and this is basically hip-hop opera. Two things, it should be opposites. A thesis, hip-hop, and almost the antithesis to hip-hop is opera. To get a tune that manages to combine both elements, brilliant. Yeah. So it's still basically got the pure hip-hop beat, but it's just got some nice kind of gentle orchestrations in there, and just really, really nice voice. I don't know if many other tunes kind of followed this, but it's certainly original, and for hip-hop it's really different. So very, very good stuff. Okay, we follow this one up with another fairly forgotten song, but it's a good one. Ain't That Just the Way. Kind of mid-tempo, soul R&B song. Maybe a bit more early 90s in feel. Maybe could have come from like Now 21 or Now 22. But still a good song. Can't beat a good song and a good vocal, good groove. I like it. Right, next up, we've got one which is another oldie re-released, and it is Wine and Grind, Prince Buster, classic old kind of ska tune. Not even ska, more like reggae really. And if you didn't know, The Prince by Madness, that was all about Prince Buster. He was pretty much their inspiration, and it was really good to have him back. I think it might have been a Levi's advert or something, but good to have him back in the charts, and a good song. Okay, now here's another one, pop trivia time. See if you can work out where this comes from. It's the All-Seeing Eye with an I. Beat Goes On. Real one-hit wonder. I don't think they had anything else. Can you remember where the music came from? See if you can remember the vocals. That's very quiet. Can you remember? Come on, get some vocal. It's actually Sonny and Cher. Not the first Sonny and Cher song to be revived for now. We'd had I Got You Babe by UB40 and Chrissy Hind. So yeah, they've basically taken a very old scratchy Sonny and Cher song and kind of put very, very minimal beat, almost proto 21st century again. A bit two-steppy. a bit like breakbeat without the breakbeat, almost. Right, Goldie follows this with Believe, and yeah, that's a weird one. It's not as drum and bass as you'd expect from Goldie. It's still got a lot of the aesthetics of drum and bass. It's got the kind of weird semi-discordant strings and stuff. But it's, in terms of beat, it's less breakbeaty, less Amony, kind of neo soul almost. But it's still kind of got a D&B aesthetic to it. It's brilliant, as you'd expect from Goldie, and it's got great vocals by the legendary Diane Charlemont, who sadly died a few years ago. Okay, who on earth thought it would be a bright idea to follow up Goldie with the Backstreet Boys? It's the same person who thought it would be a good idea last time to follow up Quicksilver with Wet, Wet, Wet. And we end the album with a totally superfluous song. It's 41 songs, is a weird number. 40 would have been a much rounder number. Do we really, really need Vanilla, No Way, No Way, as a kind of bolt-on 41st song? It's kind of a joke record, and maybe it was put on as a joke. I'm sure it was a joke. I'm sure it was an inside industry joke of like, let's see if we could have the worst song known to man and make it a hit. I can't believe it was for real. And in that case, if it is a joke, it's a bit like Aqua maybe and Barbie Girl. But it's not funny. That's the difference. No Way, No Way. What's so bad about it? It's basically built around the Muppets theme. Mana, na, 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 na. And trying to do something like vaguely R&B around that. So, all in all then, Now 39 has been a very weird album. All in all, it's had loads and loads of songs, but there's lots of culture clash moments here, with varying degrees of success. Lots of strange combinations, lots of things that you wouldn't have thought go together, and they kind of randomly do. Sometimes they don't. Never Ever by All Saints is a really good girl band classic. That kicks things off. Maybe Lesser Lee, but, Spice Girls Stop, of that ilk. Angels by Robbie Williams. Yep, that's his first real classic. Perfect Day 97, a pretty interesting update of the original. Ballad of Tom Jones by Space and Cerys, brilliant. I still like that. My dad still likes How Do I Live by Leanne Rimes. You're Still the One by Shania Twain. Yep, Tomorrow Never Dies, classic Bond music from Sheryl Crow. Good songs by Radiohead. I don't think No Surprises is a classic. Lucky Man is by The Verve. This is Hardcore Pulp, minorly. Let Me Entertain You, Robbie. Yeah, pretty much. Mulder and Scully, yep. Brimful of Asher, hell yeah. It's Like That, hell yeah. Renegade Master, pretty much. Bamboogie's still a good club tune. Found a Cure's still a good club tune. Barbie Girl's a kitsch classic. I don't think 5, 6, 7, 8 is. Prince Eagles maybe a forgotten classic, but it's good. Wine and Grind's a good reggae classic. Beat Goes On's an interesting oddity. Yeah, that's a very, very strong amount of classics. Just a shame it ends with No Way, No Way. But you don't have to play that if you don't want. Okay, see you later, everyone.